In previous lessons, we've been talking about the concept of slope, and we've been talking about slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. And we know in this form that m is our movement, it's our slope, and b is our beginning point. It's our initial value, it's where we start. So in our previous lesson we did in class, if we had the equation y equals 2x minus 3, this is in slope-intercept form, and we're going to graph this. It has a b value of -3, so it means our beginning point will be down at -3. And then we have a movement or a slope of 2/1, which tells us to go up 2, 1, 2, and then right 1. And then we send a line through those. And this is the graph for the equation y equals 2x minus 3. In today's lesson, we're going to go the other direction. If you already know what the slope is, and you already know what your starting point is, can you write the equation in slope-intercept form? So the first part of the assignment is not too bad. You'll be given problems that look like this. They'll say m is 1/3, and your y-intercept is 5. And it wants you to be able to write this in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, we know that the intercept is my b, and we know that the slope is my m, so we just write the equation. Y and x are constants. They're going to always be in the problem. So y is going to stay there, and then equals, not m, but what's our m in this case? It's 1/3. X has to be there. And then your intercept is plus 5. That's positive 5. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Write it into the equation y equals mx plus b. So if I want to know what this means, it starts at 5. My slope tells me to go up 1 and then right 3. Okay? If I had another one, said the slope is -2/3, and we have a y-intercept of 4, and we want to write this in the slope-intercept form. Once again, we want it to look like y equals mx plus b. The intercept is my ending. Our slope is right there. Keep our y and x in the problem. So it's y equals -2/3 x plus 4. And that's your answer. Okay. If we had the situations where it said m is 4 and your y-intercept is -2, well, the same thing, we just get y equals our m, which is 4/1, but we don't really need the one on the bottom. Don't forget your x. That's where some kids make mistakes. They forget to put the x in there. So y equals 4x, and then it's -2 this time. Okay? So make sure in every problem you have your y and your x in there. Y and your x. Y and your x. Okay? I want you guys to try one. If the slope was -1/4, and the y-intercept is 7, write that into slope-intercept form. Hopefully you get y equals -1/4, don't forget your x, and then +7. Okay. Now the problem might say this. They could say the slope is a negative, let's say 3. And then instead of saying y-intercept, they might just tell you it's b. And they'll say like b is 5. Okay? Well, once again, we want it to say y equals mx plus b. So b and y-intercept are the same thing, okay? So it could say the y-intercept or it could say b. It'll always say m. And then when I want to write this one, I get y equals negative 3x plus 5, okay? I'm going to have you answer a couple of these problems, and then we'll continue the video on from here. Okay, hopefully you got those questions right. Now the next part of the lesson, we're going to look at this situation. So they could give us the graph already, and in the graph we want to be able to still write it into the form of y equals mx plus b, okay? So the finding the b is the easy part, right? Because b is on our line, it's our starting point. And we said in class the starting point is always where it crosses the y. So if I look at this line, where does it cross the y at? Well, it crosses right here at the dead center. And this center point, we know that is 0. So my intercept is a 0, okay? But the hard part on these ones is we have to be able to find the slope. And before, we've always seen another perfect little dot for us. But now you don't have that dot. So you have to find a perfect corner that the line goes through, okay? And there could be several ones. But what I mean by corner is if I trace this line back from my starting point, let's say I just go up. Well, right here is not where it goes through a corner. So I don't want that one. Up here doesn't go through a corner either. Up here doesn't go through a corner. But up here, it does go through another corner. So I'm going to put my other dot there, okay? So we're looking for not corner, not corner, not corner, and corners, all right? And then from there, we should be able to find the slope, what we've done in class, using rise over run. So if you put your pencil here, your starting point, how did we get to the other point? We count our movement. We went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So we went up a positive 4. And then we had to run. And we had to run to the left. Left is negative. We went over negative 1. So our slope would be a rise of 4 and a run of negative 1. And then we just once again have to move the y and the x down. So y comes down equals, drop your x in there, and then like plus 0. So our equation is y equals 4 over negative 1 x plus 0. Okay, that is in the form of slope-intercept because it has a starting point of the 0, and then our slope, finding our other corner, tells us go up 4, left 1. If we look at another question down here, and we want to do the same thing, we want to put this in the form of y equals mx plus b. The first thing we want to find is our beginning point. Where are we starting from? Our graph right here crosses the y right here. So we're going to put, we know that's our beginning point. And if we check that as a 1, 2, 3, so I'll put a positive 3. And then the only thing we need to find now is our slope. So we need to find the other corner. Trace the line. You can go either direction. I'm going to go to the right though. Nothing there. Nothing there. But right there is a perfect corner. So I'm going to put another dot there. And then we just have to find our slope, our rise over our run. So from here, we had to go up 1, so we had a rise of 1. And then we had to run to the right 1, 2, 3 times. And going right is positive. So that's positive 3. So our slope, the rise is a positive 1. The run is a positive 3. We've now found our starting point and our slope. We just need to drop the y and drop the x. And our final answer is y equals 1/3 x plus 3. That's the equation for the line. We just went backwards. Okay. I'm going to have you guys look at one here. So in number 6, it says y equals mx plus b. What is my starting point? What is my beginning point? Okay, hopefully you can see it crosses right there. And that's at a 1. Now from here we need to find our movement. So we need to find another corner it goes through. Let's say we go this way. Where is the other perfect corner at? Good. Hopefully you counted and you look not there, not there, not there, but yes, right there on the line. Right there at 4. Okay, so 4 is the other corner. Now we need to find the slope. So if I start from here and I want to go from here to the other point, what is my rise over my run? Going from here to here. What is my rise? Should have said -1. We went down 1. And then what is the run? If we count those, 1, 2, 3, 4, going right, positive, positive 4. So if I take my rise and my run and I put them as a slope, how should we write that? Should get -1 over 4. Drop your x. Don't leave a gap here. You know it was a +1, so put a +1 in there. And then drop your y. And there's your final answer. Y equals 1/4 x plus 1. Okay, we have one more to look at. And I'm going to have you guys do this one. I want you to write this in the form of y equals mx plus b. So find your initial value, your starting point, and where is another perfect corner? Okay, if I look at it, it has a starting point here, and that is down at -1. And then we want to find another corner. If I look, oh, right there is already my next corner. So I would go down 1, which is -1, and I would go right 1, which is +1. So my slope would be -1 over 1, and then I need to drop the y and drop the x. If I clean this up, you really should just get -x minus 1, because this makes 1, right? And then we don't need to put the 1 in there. Okay? If somebody went farther, and let's say you said, oh, I didn't see that one, but I went to this corner, well, then you just made your stairs bigger. That's fine. You just went down 2, so you went a -2 down, and then you went right 2 times. So your slope would have been -2 over 2, still starting at -1. Drop your y, drop your x. But if we simplify this, -2 over 2 is still -1. Okay. When you are finished, if you are online, there's an assignment below this you need to finish and upload and send in to me, or take a picture and send it in to me. If you're in class watching the video, when you are finished, come in the back and pick up your assignment.